Hi everyone, welcome back to our practice. Take a support for yourself and come and sit in a comfortable, dignified position for yourself. Swastika sun, Virasana. If this is not possible, the knees might be an issue today, be in Tadasana. But create a sense of ease of the base of the pose, being able to settle down. So it's like the bony structure of the hips, the buttock bones, the legs can settle into the earth. Please remember, if the knees are raised upwards, take yourself a blanket and fold the blanket, and you can put that between your outer knees, your inner feet, so that you really get a sense of letting go these inner thighs, because then the inner groins can soften. I'm going to keep that there for today too. Release the buttock flesh, drawing it back so you can feel the bony structure of the base of the pose settling down. And then from there, roll your arms back, just like we did in the previous class, spreading across the sternum. As you ease the sternum from the base to the sternal notch, spread the collarbones, roll the inner upper arms out so that the thumbs almost externally rotate. And as you settle the buttocks down, can you settle each one of the tip of the fingers equally into the earth? And if you're sitting fairly high, please take a prop for your fingers so that you find good purchase between the fingers and a support, your buttocks and a support. Release the upper trapezius, release the upper shoulders, release the skin of the upper buttocks down. But lift internally from the sacrum, from the front of the spine. Ease the spinal column upwards into lightness, lift, length. Lengthen, broaden the inner walls of the throat upwards from the relax and the release of the upper shoulders. Let the eyes softly come closed. Relax the very root of the tongue, allowing the front of the tongue, the back of the tongue to slip from the front of the upper open throat to the back of the upper open throat. Bring your awareness, your gaze, your sense of listening inwards. And as you breathe in, can you ease the whole of the rib cage up and away from the hips? Can you lift the armpit chest upwards as if you have hands underneath the armpits, easing you upwards? So that as the breath flows into the body, it flows into this vast barrel-like container, right from the pelvic floor to the base of the skull. And as you breathe out, emptying that container all the way down to the pelvic floor. Long, broad, deep inhalation. Long, broad, complete exhalation. And as you rest in the breath, rest all tension, tightness, tiredness. Come to a place of stability, stillness, effortless effort. In this quiet, it becomes like dhyana in action, meditation, in the action of the pose, swastika. As the breath breathes itself Allow that soft, subtle sound of the universe to resonate internally. Those of you that are accustomed to chanting the invocation to Patanjali, can you do that silently to the inner being for today? The shoulders broad, the trapezius releasing broadly down the back body, that sheath of water. Release the back of your neck, allowing the chin to surrender to the chest, the head to surrender to the heart, and the heart to ease upwards towards the head. Soften the inner elbows, rest your palms upwards. Raise your head, open your eyes. And just for a day, today, a little difference in that we kept the hands there to feel that internal space as we breathed, as we did our internal silent chants. From there, fold forwards into Adho Mukha Virasana. If you need support, remember, if the knees, I'm just going to re-demonstrate for those of you that have issues. If the knees are a problem, pull a blanket behind the back of the knees to sit back. If you find that you're sitting higher up, take however many foams or additional blankets so that the buttocks find a support. This way the groins can soften. These need to remain constantly soft, as is the abdomen, and come forwards. Adho Mukha Virasana. Rest the forehead. If you need to bring a brick for the forehead, take whatever supports you need so that you can lengthen, broaden, and deepen into this pose. So it's not just a two-dimensional body. Bring about that third dimension of the depth from front to back. Close your eyes. And take your inner groins back to the wall behind you. Draw your outer hips back to the wall behind you. As if similar to the sitting, you're taking the bony structure of the hips, drawing that back. You can do that by scrubbing the hands biomechanically down and forwards. But as you settle the tail into its natural arc, and you ease the whole of the organic body out of the pelvic bowl towards the thoracic diaphragm. And then soften the abdomen to the back body. Like we were doing in the last class, cinch these lower side ribs back so you can broaden and spread the lower front ribs, settling them open so that the heart center is soft and open. Remember the action of the arms from the last class, rolling the forearms in to root the first knuckle of the index finger, the thumb down, rolling the inner upper arms out. Get that ringing action. Upper trapezius down the back body. Upper buttocks towards the heels. Breathe in through the front of the back body as the abdomen settles. Draw the back of the abdomen up the front of the spine as you inhale. As you exhale, release the upper trapezius towards the back waist. The upper buttocks down towards the heels.
So it's like a spherical shape of breath. Inhaling up the front of the back body, exhaling down the back body. And from there, come up onto all fours. Remove your props. Spread your hands. Today's class is going to be quite a bit of continuation of the last class. So I hope you've all done the last class. It's a good way to prepare for this class, even if you want to join them. So remember that outer elbow, from that outer elbow wrapping in and down, that's spiraling to the root of the thumb, the root of the index finger, and that mound of the thumb. Spread your fingers, root the palms down. Inner upper arms, roll up and out. Grip the outer upper arms to the bone, settle your shoulders into the socket. So the trapezius, draw from the upper trapezius down to the lower trapezius. And then from there, tuck your toes under and lift the hips away from the rib cage. Keep the legs bent for the moment. Remember last class. Draw your upper buttocks to the wall by moving the inner groins, the outer hips strongly back. Feel like you've got ropes there pulling you back. Lift the hips away from the ribs. As the tailbone comes to the pubis and the pubis to this tailbone, broadly spread the abdomen back. Spread the lower front ribs, and keeping that alignment of the barrel-like trunk, press the heels down. Release the head. Having set up the arms and the legs like stable pillars, lift the hips away from the ribs and broadly, deeply breathe into this barrel-like structure of the trunk. Soften the upper trapezius. Deep, full inhalation. Long, complete exhalation. Front thighs to back thighs. Abdomen broadly back. Lower front ribs spreading. Upper trapezius towards the upper buttocks. Back of the neck long and soft. So no tension in the neck or the head. Free. Floating. And bend your legs, come down, be in Adho Mukha Virasana. And from there, come standing up, feet together, Tadasana. Root down through the 4 points of the soles of the feet, draw up the arches, both inner and outer arch. Lift the thighs to draw up the knees. Halter hips in. It's like you bring these femur heads completely into the pelvic girdle. So the outer thighs will move to the inner thighs, but as you grip these thigh muscles to the bone, move the inner thighs out. Spread across the collarbones. Turn, rotate your inner upper arms up and take the arms up and over the head. Urdhva Namaskar. Check in for yourself with your mind's eye. You don't need to look. You know where your elbows are. Are your elbows locked or are they bending? If they're bending, keep the arms apart, the hands apart, so that they're shoulder width. If they need to go wider because of shoulder issues, take them where you can fully straighten the elbows. And those shoulder issues need to repeat that previous class. Otherwise, hands into Namaskar. Upper trapezius, soften down the back body. From there, keeping the armpits open, bend your elbows. So if I demonstrate to the side, we're in Tadasana. Front thighs back, abdomen back. You're standing deeply into the heels. Lower front ribs spreading by cinching these side ribs back. Remember the integrity of this area as you have the arms up and bend your elbows. So if you find that the lower front ribs pump to get the hands into Supta Namaskar, then keep the arms there. Go to your capacity, keeping the integrity of the pose. The shoulders must work around everything else. And from there, swing the arms around the back. Bring your fingertips to meet, palms to meet. Turn your palms up and slide your hands up your back. Paschimottanasana. Once more, spread across the collarbones. Draw the upper trapezius down. And squeeze your elbows back and pull them down some to lift the sternum. Let's repeat, release. Relax the shoulders. Now take the arms forward and up, just a different way. And just check in for yourself. Is this more comfortable for your shoulders? Or is this, and for some of us, it makes a difference. For some of us, it doesn't. Front thighs, abdomen, side ribs back. Bend your elbows. Supta Namaskar. Open the armpits. Roll the inner upper arms out. Bring the arms up. Swing them behind the back. Paschimottanasana. Keeping the integrity of the front thighs, abdomen, lower side ribs back. To open, spread the heart center. Now, from that, keeping your left arm behind your back, stretch the right arm up, bend the elbow, Gomukhasana. Puff open that right armpit. Remember, elbow, shoulder, hip in line. Front thighs back, abdomen back. Open your left side ribs. Draw up as much as you draw down. Can you take your elbows back behind you a little more? Those of you using the belt, please take a belt. But have something to pull on. Up and down. And release. Let go. Relax the shoulders. Just roll the shoulders back and down. Let the arms hang off the shoulders. Once more. Urdhva Namaskar. Supta Namaskar, soften the upper trapezius, down the back body, no need to grip that. Paschimottanasana, hands behind the back into Namaskarasana. Draw the elbows back and down, keeping your right hand there, extend the left arm up, roll the whole of that inner upper arm out, and grip the fingers. Grip the wrists if you can go further. Spread your lower front ribs, abdomen, front thighs back. Pump open that left armpit as you open your right side ribs. Breathe. So just warming up the shoulders for our practice. Release. Now roll the shoulders forward, hunch the shoulders up, pull them down. Just get a bit of movement there. Once more, come onto all fours for Adho Mukha Svanasana. That ringing action of the arms, forearms rotating in, upper arms, inner upper arms externally rotating, coming up. Lift the bony structure of the hips from the ribs, heels down. Stand your feet, your hands into the floor. Lift the buttocks higher. Breathe into this vast, open internal space of the trunk. Upper trapezius, draw up the back body. See, is there any difference now between your first dog stretch and the second one? Can you pump open the armpits? Can you move the whole of the shoulder blade onto the back ribs to take the shoulder blades as vast hands down to the floor? Lift the base of your sternum to the pubic plate. Bend your knees and come down. Adho Mukha Virasana.
So from there, we're going to go into Pincha Mayurasana, elbow balance today. It's a wonderful shoulder opener. So let's get bricks handy and get a belt just for future reference so that we don't have to pause too long then. Take your loop of your belt, hook your thumbs into that loop, ever so slightly narrower than your shoulders. And from that, come from turn towards your wall, come up into, like you're going to go into Adho Mukha Svanasana, so or be on all fours. Now, those of you with hyperextended elbows, this is a wonderful opportunity. Turn your inner elbows to face towards the wall as best you can. Upper trapezius down the back body. Now, slowly pushing the root of the thumb, the index finger, and that mound of the thumb into the floor. Start to draw your outer elbows down to the floor. See what happens to that thumb, that index finger side of the hand. Pause, push it down. Take your inner elbows down, outer elbows. Inner elbows want to be light. See if you can get your outer elbows to the floor before the inner elbows. So root the outer elbows down. It's like you want to make these outer elbow points heavy, the inner elbow points light, and you want to squeeze your inner elbows towards each other. So it's like they're a north and south pole of a magnet. They want to come to each other, and the hands want to move apart when you do this correctly. So let's try once more, coming up onto all fours. Root down through the mound of the thumb, the root of the index finger. Roll the inner upper arms out. Outer upper arms grip to the arm bone. And now slowly, slowly check what wants to come up. Keep rooting down through that inner palm. Slowly, slowly, the outer elbows down. Let the inner elbows be light. Press the outer elbows down. Press your inner wrists, mound of the thumb side of the hand down. Make the inner elbows light and attract the inner elbows towards each other. Feel how the collarbones, the upper shoulder blades, the shoulders broaden. And you can ease the trapezius and the shoulder blades up the back from this action. Now, just to create a bit of stability there, come up and take your belt and put your belt just above your elbow joint. Take your brick. If you don't have a brick, have a foam, but no wider than your shoulders. I'm going to use a brick here. Once more, have your hands down. The thumbs move away from you so you can get the inner wrists down. So push the brick away from you, but your index fingers squeezing the brick and stabilizing. Once more. Thumb mound down, root of the index finger down, turn those inner arms forward, and now bring your outer elbow points down. Outer elbow points root down, inner wrist, mound of the thumb side of the hand, move down. And now, open your armpits. Bring your shoulders behind your belt, ever so slightly. Tuck your toes under and come up. Drop your head. Let the head just hang. Puff open your armpits. Lift your upper trapezius towards the upper buttocks. Root down through the mound of the thumb. Root down through the outer elbow. Magnetize the inner elbows towards each other. Spread the collarbones, the upper shoulder blades, and the shoulder blades deep into the back. Take your head further and further through. Your head slightly off the floor. Lift your heels. Front thighs back, abdomen back. Lower front ribs spread. Open the armpits. Inner upper arms roll out. Spread your shoulder blades, dig them into the back. and release. Come down. Just keep your elbows relaxed. Rest your head in a variation of Adho Mukha Virasana. And then come up and get your chair. Take the backrest of the chair towards the belt on. Once more, above the elbow joint. And take your arms way through. Same action. Outer elbows down, inner elbows light. Press the thumb side of the hand away. Bring the inner wrist down to the floor. This inner wrist, this mound of the thumb, is like the departure point for your tail of the peacock inversion. So outer elbows down, thumbs moving forward. Release your head and come up. Walk in. You want to have the armpits open. So if you need to walk your forearms forward, do so. But now from there, move the shoulder blades into the back. It's like the chair is burning you. And the minute you touch the chair, you want to move away from the chair. Remember the imprint of your hands from Gomukhasana. Move that dorsal into the back. Come up. Lift the outer hips. Sharpen the buttock bones. Now, root down through the mound of the thumb, the inner wrist, outer elbow. Spread the inner upper arms out. So the collarbone, shoulder blades broaden. Pump open your armpits. Can you walk inside? And from there, walk out. Release. And just rest. Wonderful shoulder openers, these. And coming up. So remember that imprint that your hands from Gomukhasana have made. Remember the imprint of the chair onto your shoulder blades. Please, if at any stage, these are various steps and stages to go through Pincha Mayurasana. Please go through them. Work to your capacity for your practice today. So coming close to the wall now, roll those forearms in, root the inner wrist, the thumb mound down, root of the index finger, thumb down, outer elbows, rooting down, inner elbows, squeezing towards each other. If you could, you'd want to squeeze the mat with the elbows to the medial line, but you'd want to split your mat with your hands, taking your hands high, wider and wider. From there, tuck the toes under and come up. Drop your head. Pincha Mayurasana. Move the dorsal thoracic. Move the shoulder blades into your back. Lift your head now and look at that space in between your forearms. But the more you do that, the more you dig the shoulder blades into the back. And you walk in. And you come onto the palm under the big toe. Bring your feet together. Front thighs back, abdomen back, raise your left leg up, pressing to the heel. Roll the inner thigh, outer hip of the legs back, and lift the thighs, lift up, dorsal into the back, lift up. Bring the left leg down, root down through the inner wrist, the outer elbow. Inner upper arms roll out. Pump open the armpits, shoulder blades deep into the back. Lift your right leg up. Inner thighs, roll back, especially that right inner groin. Roll it back, lift up. Breathe, lift up. Release the right leg, come down. Relax. Breathe. Soften the upper trapezius, check what's happened there. So we need to really soften the upper trapezius to be able to activate that dorsal thoracic deeper and deeper and deeper into the back. Breathe. Pincha Mayurasana. Those of you that want to get rid of your props, if you feel they're very restrictive, please do so. Getting rid of the belt, the bricks, but you need to have that sense, as I said, of the elbows, those inner elbows compacting to spread here, to spread here, to spread the shoulder blades. The hands want to feel like they're doing that. They're tearing the mat apart as the inner elbows move towards each other, because that assists with space for the upper trapezius to move up the back body. So if at any stage you feel the opposite's happening, that's why we have the supports there. So take what you want. I'm going to continue with these so that people can see that they are there. Outer elbow points, remember, keep moving them down. Inner wrists down, thumb pressing away. Tuck your toes under. Now, pump open your armpits. The upper arm in Pincha Mayurasana must remain at least at the vertical. It doesn't come, because the minute we do that, we're dropping and the upper trapezius comes into tremendous tension. So keep that at least 90-degree angle. Walk in, walk in. Step your left leg up, and from there, rolling that left inner thigh back, come up. Bring one leg away from the wall. Lift your upper trapezius through the upper buttocks to the heels. Root that mound of the thumb down, outer elbow down. Squeeze your inner elbows towards each other. From there, lift the legs, lift the upper buttocks, breathe. Breathe. Bring one leg down, other leg down, rest. Breathe. Check in on the breath. Did you hold the breath? Was the breath sharp? Was it flowing? Check in, because it's a good indicator of whether tension has crept into the place. One more. So set yourself up, outer elbows down, mound of the thumb, inner wrist down. Reach the fingers forward. As you squeeze the inner elbows towards each other, feel the broadness that comes across the shoulders. Space for the upper trapezius to release. Come up. Remember, pump open the armpits, looking at that space in between the forearms. Set up your base once more. Upper trapezius to buttocks, buttocks up. And from there, step one leg up, other leg up. Draw your upper trapezius through your upper buttocks. Lift your calves, lift your heels, lift your thighs. Tailbone to pubis, pubis to tailbone, abdomen back. And balance. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Come down and just rest. Forehead onto the back of your hands, completely relaxed. Groins, abdomen, heart center, shoulders, armpits, brain, breath. From there, coming up, set yourself up for Sirsasana, be it against the wall or in the center of the room. And don't go up yet. So, a preparation, your Pincha Mayurasana is wonderful preparation for Sirsasana, because there once more are your outer elbow points rooting down, your inner elbows moving towards each other, except now all you've done, even although you're getting that internal spiraling, you're just going to turn the hands to each other and interlock. So now these inner wrists can root to the outer wrists, but you've still got those outer elbows down and the inner elbows moving towards each other. So this is heavy, this is light. So, Sirsasana, place your hands down. If you need to be against the wall, please do. Let me demonstrate for you today, if you're especially against the wall, because I find when you go away from the wall, you are already getting the hips up. So, outer elbows down, inner elbows light and towards each other. Wrists vertically down, fingers soft into the bowl. Place your head into your hands. From there, you root down through the outer wrist, walking. So here, pump open your armpits, lift your upper trapezius, lift your buttocks in line with your shoulders. And then from there, whether it's one bent leg, other bent leg, see that your hips are already vertically up. And then you just, there's the wall, and you come up. Okay, otherwise, lift up, and you lift those shoulders, spread the collarbones, spread the shoulder blades, and lift one leg up, other leg up. Okay, I find when you're in the center of the room, you're doing that already. Okay, so I'm going to move to away from the wall, Sirsasana. I'm going to set the timer just for 5 minutes today. So set yourself up. Outer elbow points down and heavy, inner elbows light, moving towards each other. Interlock your fingers from the stability, so the forearms internally rotate. Wrists vertical. Create a soft bowl with your hands. Place your head in your hands. Now, rooting down through that base. Outer wrists, center of the forearm bone, outer elbows, lift yourself up. Spread your collarbones by magnetizing your inner elbows towards each other. Root down through the outer wrists to lift your upper trapezius. Press down through your outer elbows to draw the upper arms into the shoulder socket, and from there, come up. Give yourself a moment to settle, to be. Just like you were when you were sitting in Svastikasana. You didn't find the quiet stability in the pose the minute you sat there. For today, part your feet. Make them hip width. And now, root down through your outer wrist and ease your upper trapezius through the upper buttocks, through your calves, through the inner, the middle, the outer heel, upwards. Feel like there are these many threads drawing from your upper trapezius all the way through your heels. Lifting, lengthening, lightening the back body up. Keeping the legs apart. Bring the tail in towards the pubis. Settle the pubis back to the tail. Move the front thighs back. Abdomen broadly back. Cinch your lower side ribs back. So the lower front ribs spread and broadly release back. Now from all that space internally, compact your outer thighs, your outer hips, and bring your legs to connect.
Root the outer wrists vertically from the inner wrists down. Ease the trapezius through the upper buttocks, through the calves, through the whole of the heel. Lift the heels higher. Tailbone in, front thighs, abdomen, lower side ribs back. Get a softness and openness to the heart center. Settle there. Be there. Come to that space of stability, stillness, quietness. Dhyana in action, meditation in action, effortless effort. And in your own time, keep scanning the body for where the little collapses come, where the rigidity keeps in. Can you drop that rigidity? Get a sense of effortless effort. Breathe. The breath is the best indicator of softness or tension. Keep checking in for yourself. Outer wrists down to ease the upper trapezius up. Outer elbow points root down to bring the humerus head deep in the socket. Inner elbows soften towards each other like you're squeezing a beach ball. From that stability, front thighs, abdomen back, reach your heels away from you. Come into Tadasana. Press the heels away, front thighs to back thighs, long back leg, shoulders up, shoulders broad, and bring the feet down. Part the knees and rest in Adho Mukha Virasana.
When you are ready, come up, open your sticky mat. Take a blanket. I'm just going to fold my sticky mat up. And take a blanket. Put a blanket at the end of your sticky mat. You've got your belt that you used for Pincha Mayurasana. Keeping that belt. Lie down. Shoulders onto the blanket and your head off the blanket. So you've got a slight support here. Grip the edge of your sticky mat and scrub your shoulder blades towards your heels. So you want to pull away with your hands so that you roll broadly onto the front of your shoulders, like you're pulling your collarbones down to the floor. So pull the upper trapezius towards the upper buttocks. Once you've established that, this puffing up of the inner collarbones, take your belt. Hook your index finger, middle finger around the loop
Put your loop around the front of your ankles, Chatushpadasa. Roll your inner upper arms out, and now tuck your shoulders even more underneath you and lift up. Abdomen back, inner groin soft, lift up. Abdomen. As you breathe out, sink the abdomen back, but lift your middle buttocks higher. So your upper buttocks lengthen to those middle buttocks, pump them up, lift up, stay. Press your outer upper arms down. Press your outer shoulders down. Breathe. And release. Come down. Just rest. Feel how the shoulders have opened, tucked under. It's that same action we want to maintain when we go now for Setu Bandha Savandasa. Keep your blanket as it is. Take your bricks. 2 bricks for today, and your bricks vertically on their narrow edge either side. For those of you, I know some of you unable to do that, you'll have 1 brick flat, 1 brick on its narrow edge, okay? So come and lie down once more, legs are bent, have your bricks. So your shoulders are onto the blanket. Pull away with your elbow, with your hands to scrub the upper trapezius, the shoulder blades down the back. So you spread the collarbones, inflate these inner collarbones. As we age, the trapezius harden and flow forwards, and we get these enormous fossa, these holes underneath the collarbones. Pump them up, open them up. Lift your buttocks, take your bricks underneath your sacrum. Either side of that triangular bone, have your legs apart. Now, once more, grip the edge of your sticky mat, tuck your shoulders underneath you. Draw the upper trapezius to your upper buttocks. So here, like Chatushpadasa, the upper buttocks lengthen, but the middle buttocks move into the body, like you're toggling them up to the ceiling. Tailbone to pubis. Pubis rests back to the tailbone. So the abdomen sinks broadly back. Soften and spread the heart center. Now roll the whole of your inner upper arm out. Like I said in the last class, from the back of the armpit, chest, spiral up and over. Press the front of your shoulder heads down. Relax your arms. From the outer shoulders pressing down, can you soften the back of the neck? That cervical spine that is resting onto the floor, can you make it light? Lift it off the floor. So your shoulder heads are down, the back of your head is down, but it's the base of the neck is up, light, floating. Ease the base of the skull up off the top of the spine. And if needs be, close the eyes. Breathe. Soften, broaden, lengthen the inner walls of the throat. Open the nasal passages. As if you widen the nostrils. And let the breath easily, fully flow. Long, broad, deep inhalations. Long, broad, complete exhalations. Breathe. Let the breath flow naturally, and then as if almost subtly, without you even noticing, that deeper, longer ujjayi inhale, exhale comes into the body. And now, if it's possible, extend the legs away from you. If you reach the wall, unlucky, reach the wall, fine. If you don't, just extend the heels away and roll the inner outer thighs down. So the two front thigh muscles connect to the thigh bone. Move the front thighs to the back thighs. Deepen the middle buttocks into the body. Broadly spread the abdomen back. Broaden the thoracic diaphragm. Breathe. Feel where the breath flows easily into the body. Where you need to encourage that inhale a little more. Feel where there's a tendency to grip and hold. And you soften that space by engaging somewhere else to cooperate with that space. Relax the very root of the tongue, allowing the back of the tongue to slip from the front of that broad, passive, open throat to the back of that broad, open, passive throat. Soften the eyes back into the sockets. Feel as if you find Shavasana in Setubandha Savandasana. For those of you that have had the legs straight, bend up the legs. Keep the chest broadly open as you are. Keep the feet slightly apart, raise up, tuck up your right knee and raise your right leg to the vertical. Press the heel into the ceiling. Abdomen broad and soft. Chest pumping wide and open, but the heart center quiet. Bend your right knee, put your right foot on the floor, tuck your left leg up, and raise the left leg up. Heel deeply into the ceiling. Keep moving those shoulder blades into the back to spread the collarbones, to pump out those inner collarbones. Vast inner space of the chest to breathe. Bend the left leg. And now either holding your bricks, or if you trust your bricks, tuck the legs up and take both legs 90 degrees. Lift up. Draw the calves through the heels. Chest open, abdomen back. Open the backs of the knees. Bend your legs, put your feet on the floor. Lift your hips, pause for a moment, like you were in Tadasana. Stay there. And now lengthen from your upper trapezius, your buttocks. Pull your upper buttocks to your heels and come and rest down. Let go of the back. Draw your legs towards your chest. Sutta Parvanmuktasana. Take your legs over to the left. Put your left hand on your outer right knee. Make your right shoulder heavy. Soften the abdomen and turn the abdomen left to right. Let that turn take place from a sense of softness and breathing out. Inhale just to be. Soft, long exhalation. Turn the abdomen left to right. Release your left hand. Draw the legs up. Take the legs over to the right. Right hand on your outer left knee. Now make your left shoulder heavy. And breathe out. Long, releasing exhalation. Abdomen right to left. Soft, organic body. Release your right hand, draw your legs up to center, put your feet on the floor, and just rest your back. Check in as you lie here now. How does the body feel as it prepares for the pose of Shavasana? Is your lower back feeling it in any way? Do you need to rest with your calves up, maybe on a chair? Do you need to put something behind the back of the knees? Whatever you need to take, lie yourself down, and for today, please at least take yourself a blanket. Fold the blanket so that you have a small lowish pillow. So if you're resting with the calves on the chair, please do so. If you're resting with something around the back of the thighs and knees, do so. But slide yourself down and draw that blanket so that it tips the top of your shoulders. Your legs are bent. Now, relax and release your shoulders away from the blanket. So just like you've been doing in these poses, you can pull the shoulder, the collarbones to the blanket, but let the upper trapezius release away. Let the shoulder blades move away from the blanket. And from there, ease the back of the neck up and away from the blanket. So let the back of the neck feel almost extra long. Hook your thumbs into the base of the skull and pull even more, like you're really pulling the skull to the opposite end of the blanket. Tuck your chin slightly in so that the gaze of the eyes will be at about 80, 70 degrees off the vertical. If it's not, make this blanket higher and then put your head quietly down. The outer collarbones rest heavy into the floor. Let your inner upper arms from the back of that armpit chest roll up and out. So the back of your middle finger is like the spine of your hands, centered. Slightly lift your buttocks and pull your upper buttocks to your heels. And now extend your legs away from you. Draw the heels away from you, right from your upper trapezius. So the upper trapezius draws through the heels as the back of the neck moves in the opposite direction. Now, have a deep breath in, close your eyes, and completely breathe out from the crown of your head, from the tip of your fingers to the soles of your feet, and let go. So deep inhalation, and now soften, exhalation, and let go. Once more, deep inhalation, and as you exhale, completely melt, surrender into the floor. Make any adjustments you need to. Maybe pull the heels a little further away. Maybe adjust the shoulders, the hands. Last one, deep inhalation. And now breathe out and just completely let go. You've made all your necessary adjustments, changes. Make a conscious decision that there's no need to shift, change, or adjust anything about you in any way. And surrender yourself to Mother Earth. Let go completely. Keeping your eyes closed, gradually become aware of how the breath is easing in and out of this body. Even although we're not consciously doing it, that generous breath continues. So keep bend the elbows and place the palms onto your abdomen. Feel the gentle rise and fall of the palms as you breathe in, as you breathe out. Constant, stable breath. Always there, whether we're aware of it or not. One by one, draw up your legs towards you. And let the breath just settle to normal. Keep your awareness on your breath as you take your right arm over your head and roll completely, resting the right temple on the right upper arm. Checking once more awareness on the breath. How is it now? From there, sitting in Sukhasana. Happy, contented pose. Palms in Atmanjali Mudra. A sense of ease, stability in the whole of the pose. As we rest our minds in our open hearts, the end of our practice, seeing our practice for today. With gratitude to our gurus, Iyengar Yoga, in our own inner being, that innate knowing and wisdom. Namaste. Have a wonderful day and enjoy your practice.